Waves of the day, uncontained, making space, cultivating grace. Yeah. Waves, word of the day, filling space, converging minds on the same page. Every day, every way. Waves, word of the day. Words, word of the day. Conversation. Yeah. Be alright, be alright. Life is strange, full of pain. Joy and happiness is all the same. But you have to reclaim. Become your best self. Stop tripping off what people say. Don't you know it's gonna be a brighter day, brighter day, brighter day, brighter day. Lift your hands. Do it, y'all. Come on, better, 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 better. Better days are coming. Better days are coming. Better, 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 better. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Y'all know what it is. It's Wade's Word of the Day. Yeah, big up to everyone who's in the space, who's making their way into the space, who's coming in on tonight to hang out with your boy just for, a little while. Yeah, we hanging out just for a little while. Let me just make sure I got everything that I need to have in order. Man, I'm so grateful and thankful to be in the space again. Make sure that you go ahead and share this out right now. Yeah, go ahead and do that. I certainly would appreciate each and every one of you if you would go ahead and do that. Come on now, because y'all know how I am.
Don't bother me. I hold grudges.
You know what I mean? So everybody text and tell somebody on tonight. Tell them to come on into the space. Hey, you know what it is. We're here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Tomorrow night, we'll be back with another episode of Wade's Word of the Day, the Wellness Wednesday version. So make sure that you get tapped in and tune in there as well. You can find us on all of the social media spaces, Instagram, TikTok, obviously Facebook, YouTube. Matter of fact, tonight we're going out in those three spaces tonight: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also get connected. Check us out. If you don't want to look at the video version, you can get the podcast version by just simply going to Spotify. Just look up your boy. We're there as well. As a matter of fact, that information is in the link description. Tonight, so you can find us in all of those spaces everywhere. So yeah, so go there, get connected in those spaces, and then also make sure that you put some on it. Put some on it tonight. Got all types of ways that you can get connected, that you can support your boy and what we're doing. I just threw that on the ticker for you tonight, right there on the bottom. So yeah, put some on it. Go ahead and do that real quick. Go ahead and put some on it. I certainly would appreciate it if you did that on tonight as well. So hey, it's Tuesday. Yeah. Testifying Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, thrilling Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. It's Tuesday. I'm here. You're here. We're thankful to be in the space, to be able to have a moment to share with one another, to be connected with one another, to, rap with one another, talk with one another, just spend these few beautiful moments together with one another. I'm grateful for that. I hope that you are too. I really do hope that you're grateful for that. Man, I just love being in the space. I really do. I'm thankful to be back after taking some time off to get refreshed, get renewed, to be able to come into the new year and to be able to share with you all. Just feels good to be back, in my chair, doing what I do, right here, uh, on Ways Word of the Day. Um, Talk to me. Let me know how you all are feeling. What's going on with you all? What's happening with you? Tonight, we're going to take your questions on the back end. If you have any questions, that's all good. Any comments, you can certainly share. And on tonight, we'll also put up the link if you want to come in physically into the space and share with us. So you can do that. On tonight, we're going to ask everybody to give $3. You can go to the Cash App, give $3. If you're on the Facebook side, you can give 300 stars. That's $3 in a nutshell. Go ahead and do that. Start off the new year right by supporting what we're doing in this space. Make sure, again, that you go to all of our links, all of our socials. Make sure you share this out on all of your socials. I want to start 2024 off right. So make sure that you do that. Don't just be a spectator, but also participate. Share it out to everybody that you know. 2024, I'm excited about it. I know we're going to have some robust conversations, some great topics in 2024. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I also know in 2024 we're going to face some challenges, but we're going to face them together. And so it's all good. So I'm excited about everything that 2024 has to hold. I mean, this year has already started out with a blast. If you've been anywhere, you've seen all of the trending topics and all of that good stuff, which really deals with what I talk about a lot, our humanity and how we navigate this thing called life together. And it doesn't matter where you are. I just was in Jamaica a few days ago. People are people trying to, you know, do their best to navigate their world, to figure out their world, to make it in their world, to celebrate one another, but also to find creative ways to embrace one another. Yeah, the world around, this is a large world. A bigger world is beyond just your few blocks, my block, my block, my block. So people everywhere are just trying to figure out how to live, how to be happy, how to enjoy the skin, if you will, that they are in. And we're all trying to do that. You're trying to do that tonight. You picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, we're all trying to just figure it out. And as much as, sometimes the Bible thumpers think that they have it all together, the reality is, for as much as we know through that book, we still have a lot of questions. John even said that. He said, hey, you know, Jesus did so many other things that there wouldn't be enough room or enough books. So there are still some unanswered questions, and there will always be unanswered questions. But the goal is to try to be your best, be true to yourself, be authentic. Uh, yeah, in your relationships, in your connections. That's the goal, to move beyond the fakeness that we so often see. I kind of feel like that's what Kat was talking about in other spaces. And now Kat got everybody talking, right? But the reality is 2024 is really about being authentic and being true and moving beyond the fakeness and you know, faking the funk, as we used to say back in the day, right? Being true to not only who you are, and that doesn't mean that you have to be rude. To be true to yourself doesn't mean that you have to be rude to others. Being true to yourself doesn't mean that you have to be standoffish to others. Being true to yourself doesn't mean that you have to continue to put on airs and all of those particular things. It just simply means you're going to move in your authentic self. You're going to do the hard work, as I often say, which is in fact the hard work. And you're going to discover who you are and what type of impact uh, that you need to be making in the earth. Because it's, contrary to popular opinion, it's not enough to be talking about I'm getting myself together only for myself, but I am growing and I am learning and I am discovering so that I can impact the world around me. So I want to be connected to the world around me. I want to be a part of the world around me, if you will. And I hope, you feel that same energy and you feel that same way. Yeah. Big ups to that. Yeah, yeah. I'm talking to you. I hope you feel that same energy. I hope you feel that same way.
Oh my God.
Because here is something, the reality is simply this. When you realize that you're appreciated, right, your whole day changes. And I want to just let those who are in the space know, even right now, you're appreciated. Because it's something about understanding and knowing that you are appreciated and that people not only care about what you bring, but also they care about who you are. So I want you to know tonight that you are, in fact, appreciated. You are appreciated. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm talking to you and you and you and you and you too. You are appreciated. Did I tell you that you need to get connected, that you need to share this out in all of your socials? Did I tell you uh, to go ahead and put $3 on it tonight? Yeah, go ahead and do that. I would appreciate it. As I appreciate you, appreciate what it is that we're doing in this space as well. Can I say this as well tonight? That sometimes the place we believe we have been stuck in, that maybe that's the place we've been placed in. So as you think about your 2024, think about that. That maybe the place that you feel like you've been stuck in, it may be the place you have been placed in to make impact, to make a difference, to make a change, to start a movement, to create new culture. And when I'm talking about create new culture, I'm talking about new environments, right? You do know that you have the capacity to change the context and the culture as it relates to your environment, the places and the spaces upon which you tread. So sometimes we have to stop looking at the negative aspect or the negative side of the coin and maybe begin to look at the positive side of the coin. Maybe I've been placed here to change this. I've been placed here to make a difference. I've been placed here to cultivate and create and redefine the places upon which I'm treading. And so sometimes, yeah, you know, it may just simply be you're not stuck, but you've been placed there. And if you can embrace where you've been placed, man, it makes all of the difference. It makes all of the difference. So I want to encourage somebody on tonight to really think about that as well. You can be the change agent. You have the capacity and the capability to change your environment and to change uh, the flow, if you will. You know, think about it. Have you ever been, someplace, party or whatever, and you walk in and the party is, ain't nothing cracking, whatever environment it may be, but you pop up in the environment and everybody is standing across the wall, but then you have the the gumption to step out there and embrace the moment. And you notice by you embracing the moment that it gives others the liberty to embrace the moment too. It really does. You ever been in a space where everybody's quiet and folk may say, "Any questions? Any questions?" And everybody is waiting around for somebody to ask the first question, and then you dare to ask the first question. And then out of your first question, it leads to a robust discussion. What am I saying to you tonight? Maybe you aren't stuck there. Maybe you've been placed there. And you just have to get enough courage to change the environment. And you change the environment sometimes by speaking up. You change the environment sometimes by standing up. You change the environment sometimes by letting your proverbial light shine. You change the environment sometimes by not being scared, by having the courage to be you and be grateful for who you are and whose you are and all of those particular things. And so embrace that in 2024. Embrace that. Embrace that tonight. Yeah, embrace that tonight. You're not stuck. Maybe you've been placed. And if you can see it within that light, man, your whole world can change. Man, because sometimes I've been around so many folk, they don't even realize how good they have it. But if they can turn on the light switch and recognize that it's not as bad as it seems, and that God, in fact, is going to get something good out of you and out of your life and all of those particular things, your whole world can change in an instant. I really believe that tonight, and I hope that you believe that as well. So what's been going on? What's been going on? Obviously, the major story, Cat. What has been going on? That has just opened up a floodgate of discussions around who has the capacity to tell your story. And I've been saying that for years. Nobody can tell your story like you can tell your story, and you have a right to tell it.
Oh my God.
You have a right to tell it. And here's the reality. If you don't tell your story, somebody else will. And oftentimes in them telling your story, they mess it up. My daddy used to say something like this: you tell your story before they tell your story. Because if they tell your story before you tell your story, they won't tell your story, they'll tell theirs. Did y'all get that? Yeah, they won't tell your story, they will tell theirs. And so you tell your own story. You tell your story of your struggles. You tell your story of your moments of crisis. But then out of those moments of crisis, you also got stories of victory, stories where you have overcome. You know, that's the good thing about books, right? That in books, oftentimes there are many chapters. In the first chapter, it may start off, how are they going to get out of this situation? How are they going to get out of this circumstance? But then throughout the course of the book, you see different strategies, see different circumstances. And so don't get stuck in the crisis chapters of your life, because if you keep on living, you'll be able to write some other chapters where you have overcome, chapters where you have strengthened yourself, chapters where you have really shown the tenacity and the courage to be all that you have been called to be. I'm talking better than y'all typing.
Oh yeah, you talking way.
So yeah, maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you've been placed. And uh, if you can change the way that you see it, then you have the capacity, because it always starts in the mind, in the thought process. You have to see it before you see it. If you can change your mind about how you see certain things, you can change your circumstance and you can change your situation. You can turn your frown, if you will, upside down.
Say what?
Yeah, you can do it. You sure enough can. You sure enough can. Man, I didn't mean to get into all of this tonight. I actually wanted to talk about, 2024. What are some of the things that we need to be thinking about how, as it relates to how our world is changing and all of those particular things, and just understanding if we're going to, as I said earlier, if we're going to recognize that we're not stuck, but maybe we've been placed there, then you have to also be willing to utilize the tools that are currently available to you. I got to be honest. One of the biggest challenges, excuse me, that I have navigating through this new world is trying to convince people, hey, you have different tools and that methods always change, especially within the context of my profession. Folk don't think nothing is supposed to change. You know, don't think nothing is supposed to change. And they get lulled to sleep thinking that methods are to remain firm. You know what I mean? But methods change all the time, all the time. And so in 2024, we got to start understanding that, hey, I know, think about it. I know some of this AI stuff, and I know some of this social media stuff, and I know some of this, um, the intelligent machines. I know that scares some of you folks, and that's okay. But think about it. I'm sure some folk, when the cell phones came out, they didn't want to let go of them rotary phones. I started this way, and I'm gonna finish the way. I'm sure some folk when they was sending, the little message tap 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 tap, and then the little phone came along. It's like I've started this way with the tap tap tap. Morse code. I've started this way. I'm gonna continue. That's what happens as human beings. We tend to be afraid of changing methods and changing different ideas. But in 2024, uh, methods are rapidly changing. How we communicate, how we navigate our world is rapidly changing. And that's just the reality. How we engage with one another is rapidly changing. So we got to be able to deal with that. The reality is AI is a part of our life now. It's intermingled in many of the things that we do. Social media is a part of our life. You can sit here and be talking about, I don't do social media and all of that stuff. The reality is it's a part of our life. Cell phones, texting, this device having multiple usage and all of that stuff, it's a part of our lives. You may not like it, but the reality is it's a part of our lives. Now you got to ask yourself, will I embrace it and figure out how I can navigate it for my benefit? Or will I continue to just be like Blockbuster, Netflix ain't gonna do nothing. We don't need it. And all them stores shut down now. And the reality is Blockbuster had the same technology that Netflix had, but they were unwilling to change their methods. Nextel. I just read a story about that, how the CEO and some of the others, when that kind of went under, it was like, we didn't do anything wrong. You didn't. But technology just passed you up. That's the world that we live in. And so 2024, it's a part of our lives. It's a part of our lives, even as it relates to how we navigate our lives, our worship piece. It's a part of our lives. I remember just maybe 15 years ago, preachers and bishops and all of that stuff. Somebody had a cell phone in church. Turn that off. You disrespecting the Lord in his house. Now, see all that technology and many other so-called super holy churches. You see that technology up in there. Check in, screens, all of that stuff. So it's a part of it's here. It's a part of what we got going on. And so 2024, you got to navigate that. Another thing is some folk ain't no such thing as climate control and all of that stuff. I beg to differ. Look at what's happening in our world. I beg to differ. Just look at what's happening around us. Now you can name it however you want to name it. What's up, Shakira? Good to see you tonight. You can, call it whatever you want to call it. But the reality is there is something that is happening. And the Bible speaks about that. It says that the earth even groans for the day of redemption. This notion of how do we wrestle with clean energy? How do we wrestle with, moving from the gas guzzlers, if you will, to electric cars? All of that stuff is here, right here in our face now. And you can act like, put a blind over your eye and act like that stuff ain't going on. But all of these things we're wrestling with in our world. All of these different solutions. Matter of fact, I got a invite to go test drive a Tesla and how they're giving, tax, rebates for looking at those particular cars. All of that stuff is happening. 2024. You can act like it's not, but it is. And so that means even in that manner, you're going to have to make some tough decisions, right? Have to be thinking through some different options because things are changing, methods are changing, and you're going to have to come to grips with that. Even in terms of the larger notion of propaganda, propaganda has always been around, but even now, even when we think about elections and all of those particular things, man, more than anything, the news ain't necessarily the news any longer. It's propaganda. So how we think about the folks that we are electing and why we're electing, at some point you're going to have to start thinking beyond just Democrats and Republicans. That's just the reality of it because they're becoming so intertwined that it's really just simply about getting elected versus, trying to put things into place to change people's lives about propaganda. And so there's going to be some larger questions about, hey, how do we navigate this? How do we look at this now? Can we just afford to just go, in and just pull the lever because we've always done that without educating ourselves, without even thinking through the issues of the day? And we've been talking about this for a long time, but it's becoming even more critical in 2024 that you're going to have to start thinking about who we're electing, not just simply the party that they belong to. What else? Economics. Dollar bill, y'all. Increasing turbulent times for economics and how we manage our money, how we see our money. I was just in another country and, $1 equals basically 159. Their dollar just really don't amount to nothing. Don't because money is based on the value of the thing, the value of the transaction. And so what we utilize right now, it only has value because of what it can be used for. But we need to understand that when you look at, the world in a larger scope, there's all of these things that are going on that are challenging some of those notions. And we need to be thinking about that. So is it enough, uh, as for the last 10 years, specifically as Black folks, to just think that money, uh, you know, is all we need? So what are we valuing? And I would argue that in 2024, we're going to have to put more emphasis on how we treat one another, how we deal with one another, how we value one another, how we embrace one another, how we grow with one another, how we cultivate with one another. Because I've said it before, it's not enough to climb a mountain by yourself, to get to the top, to look around and not have anyone to share your triumphs with. So when we think about our economics, it's more than just dollar bill, y'all. It's about what are we valuing in 2024? What else? What else? How we work. See, these last maybe 10 years, entrepreneur. And then we lessen the value of everyday people who are going and just navigating their life, who are working, who are trying to do the best that they can. You come from kings, you come from queens or whatever. And my argument would be, if I came from a line of janitors, do I devalue that? Specifically, if they taught me some good things that have helped me throughout my life. So even as we embrace 2024, there's still going to be these conversations about how we work, remote work, in-office work, all of these notions, all of these particular things we're going to have to wrestle with. Do they want me to come to the building simply because that's another form of control? Do I necessarily have to be at the building? Am I grown enough to be able to work at home without a supervisor stand? All of these questions about how we work, and I would even allude that to how we church. Yep. All of those questions, right? Remote, hybrid, back in office, how we work. That's going to still continue to be something that we're wrestling with in 2024. And I think the last thing we're going to have to wrestle with is this notion of there's a shift that's going on. You may have seen it, Mike Epps, and folks are making a big thing about it, and big ups to the brother, whatever. He went back and he rebuilt his block. But can I suggest something to you tonight? That's happening everywhere. And so, yeah, we applaud Mike Epps. But the reality is there are a whole lot of people who don't look like us who are rethinking suburbia. And as we have been trying to get out to suburbia, and the value of our spaces and everything have come down, the urban corridor, the urban context and everything like that, all of those folks who was in suburbia are making their way back in. Regentification, y'all. Because the reality is, many young folk don't want to be out 30, 40 minutes from their place that they work. They don't want to be out away from people within that construct or how it used to be moved to. And while we have been Wrestling to get out there may eventually now turn into the new ghetto because of all of those dollars that are being reinvested back into the spaces that we think don't have any value. It's the old saying, one man's trash becomes another person's treasure. You dig what I'm saying? And if we could just rethink that, if the wave is to come back into our space of work, if we could just rethink that. So your place and your dwelling in may not be as bad as you think it is. Maybe it's affordable. So gotta think about that. Gotta think about it. Gotta think about it. You dig what I'm saying? You gotta think about it. While we trying to get out there, a lot of folks trying to get back in here. You dig what I'm saying? So something to be thinking about. 2024. Take a look around. Again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this thing. If we can, at the beginning of this conversation on tonight, if you can begin to maybe ask yourself, maybe I'm not stuck, but maybe I've been placed. And so if I can start to see it a different way, that right where you are may in fact be, as Mike Epps discovered, what others thought was trash is in fact a treasure. You dig what I'm saying? My block, yeah, all of that good stuff. And then finally, rethinking education, right? Rethinking how we educate, what actually is education, uh, academia, all of those particular things. You know, how do we learn? What does that even mean any longer? Because I would argue for so long, uh, it has turned into, for a long time, it just turned into big buildings and all of that kind of stuff. Price of education has soared, while the level of education, I would argue, has diminished. That's just my thought, my own personal thought. But the reality is how we learn and how do we learn? Because how they taught me to do math and arithmetic is certainly not how they're teaching today. How do we incorporate even this notion of technology and all of that stuff in terms of how we learn and how we grow? So 2024, all of these things are happening. Rethinking education, rethinking economics, rethinking as it relates to our living and our community values and all of those particular things. I'm done tonight. So 2024, I want us to begin to think about those things, right? Some of this stuff is here. How do we embrace it? How do we work through it? How do we cultivate it in such a way where it works for us and it is no longer working against us, whether we're talking about the education system, whether we're talking about how we deal with economics, right? How we deal with AI, all of those particular things, how we deal with elections. Are you going to be thinking through that in 2024? Are you understanding that change ain't coming, but change is actually here? And how you embrace it and how you see it will, in fact, determine how you navigate this new world. I'm done on tonight. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you are tagging, texting, and telling somebody that you are sharing this out on all of your socials. I certainly appreciate you all. If you get a chance, go get some of that swag. Go to the website, LHBC Swag, look for Wade's Word of the Day. Purchase some of that. Hoodies and sweaters. It's wintertime, at least on my side of the coast. Go get some of that and all of that good stuff. I'm out of here. Talk to y'all real soon. Wade's Word of the Day.
Taking place, breaking norms, setting trends. Wade's Word of the Day. Uncontained, making space, cultivating grace. Yeah.